Currently 2:38 p.m. and I just captured what I have already established is the case. There's no sun that would be anywhere near remaining over also the Paul Bryan Library on June 23rd, 2022, where this entity is maintaining a light source in Rancho Cucamonga and doing so at the same time where I'm remaining in Los Angeles, an entirely distinct region, location where the sun, in other words, is not going to maintain its zenith presence over me at the same time. And that's just to give you one example. Even as you isolate the crime scene, which is Los Angeles, where the people of the state, the population, the state of California is engaging in criminal surveillance, showing what is under all circumstances impossible. That let's just go all the way back to this morning, for example. This is 9 o'clock in the morning and I'm at the same property. The light source is over my head at this property. I am literally outside of my leasing office right here. This is Cum Lee of 1812 North Alvarado Street, apartment number 2. She's going to federal prison, and then after she's federally prosecuted and she's sentenced to time in federal prison, she's then going to be deported back to her place of region, which I believe may or may not be Korea. But nonetheless, the federal government will have no trouble determining where she is from, and she's going right back there. The entity is maintaining a light source outside of the bounds of nature, and I documented the, great, spectacular demonstration of demon possession that the state of California has revealed itself to the world. It's the state at this point, it's telling on itself. Satan is telling its own secrets, and who is serving Satan? They're telling their own business, okay? While I'm just doing my job, which is prosecuting. And telling people's secrets while they are engaging in criminal conduct that's supposed to be a secret, okay? So the entity is keeping a light source over me this is my leasing office right here, 9 o'clock in the morning. Let's zoom in so you can see that. That's my leasing office. The light source remains over my head as I move away from my office, so that light source moves. It's not the sun, it's a light source, speaking to the condition and the criminal conduct that an entity is engaging in. And that's why I'm capturing it. Remains over me as I step outside after capturing that. Very damning evidence inside of apartment building 1812 number 6. And I step outside of that apartment building at 9:55. And I walk back toward my office, showing the movement, the absence of any sun over my apartment building, contrary to what I'm documenting when I'm inside of my apartment building. Okay, seen outside of my living room window, maintaining presence all day long. Okay, it's not going anywhere, but it moves as I move, as I stay on the grounds of the same exact property, which is equally impossible to be the sun and the natural environment. This is the light source moving as I move, leaving building 1812 and walking back toward the leasing office, which is, again, as I'm back, this is the leasing office building right here, the shorter building. And the light source is back over in alignment to me, and in other words, directly over my head as I'm walking back toward my leasing office. This is the laundry room. This is my leasing office, adjacent to the laundry room, where the people of the state engage in what is absolutely very mentally disturbed conduct, stalking in a laundry room, doing so obsessively consumed with the affairs of another person, and to whose life you should not have any concern. But the demon possessed are obsessively concerned with what I do as I do it, where I'm doing it, okay, including on my communication device. And this is evidenced through their pattern of conduct that is in sync with the pattern of conduct that is the state that likes to use helicopters in particular. In this environment that could not possibly be the natural environment, you're looking at the maintenance of that, which is a light source, which I capture over my head at the same leasing office at 11:34 in the morning. As I remain here, and the entity provides this spectacular video documentation at 11:34, and the entity is exhibiting their demon possession, flying in a circle, light sources over me. The people of the state begin pacing all around like the hollow demon-possessed minions that they are, engaging in what is very highly egregious criminal conduct in the shoes of the state. This is something that is going to be historic with regard to the rest of the nation understanding what you shall under no circumstances engage in, and escape time in federal prison, okay? And loss of everything else that you cherish and desire, your children, your job, because I guarantee you won't be able to maintain the same job because of the threat that you pose to the public. And it will be proscribable with regard to where it is that you can live and where it is that you can work, just because of the threat that you pose. The entity is engaging in providing this evidence to me that I captured at 11:34 as I'm standing in front of the same leasing office. I'm capturing this light source at 12 o'clock in the afternoon while it's still over my head at the same leasing office. I am documenting the maintenance of this light source at 12:33, as I am remaining at my leasing office at 12:57, as I am showing again my location walking out of my leasing office, and that which is not the sun is remaining over my head as I capture on video at 1 o'clock, 12:58 in the afternoon, and the light source is directly over the top of my head, not over my apartment building. Contrary to what I'm documenting, when I stay inside of my apartment building, that light source stays above my head at that apartment building, not over the leasing office. And it's nowhere near the Rancho Cucamonga Paul Bayan Library, nowhere near the Ovid Family Community Library, nowhere near room 277 at Economy Inn at 231 South Euclid Avenue, okay, where the sun rises and sets as I documented. Okay, it is nowhere near the Fontana Lewis Library, nowhere near the Upland Public Library, which you can see through the roof of that Upland Public Library at 450 North Euclid Avenue in Upland, California. All of these are venues where the entity has documented group stalking in helicopters, which is the state's pattern of conduct. The entity is doing so in a specific environment which is readily identifiable because it's not, under no circumstances is it possible that the sun would still be. I'm looking at building 1810, I'm at building 1812, where I was inside of at 9 o'clock in the morning. This video is captured at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. This is non-movement of the alleged sun. No, that's not the sun. And in addition to that, I'm showing you what is blatant exposure of stalking by a population of strangers. I don't even know these people, and they're stalking. And they sought to do so unbeknownst to you as a target individual, unbeknownst to me. But even as you are becoming aware of their demon possession and their stalking behaviors, that entity seeks to continue stalking you and then wants to at the same time try to muzzle you. That psychotic combination of criminal conduct shall result in nothing less than federal prison. That's absolutely and entirely absurd levels of malice there. That's a threat to your life. That's somebody that would murder you if they could get away with it. Okay? And that's not being hyperbolic. That's a very sick person, and that person makes up an entity. It's a sick population that's acting on behalf and in concert with the government that I documented after leaving my apartment, walking on the same sidewalk and back toward my office at 2:32 in the afternoon, and the light source is still over my head. As I go step by step, walking toward my office, the light source moves as I move. This is speaking to what is stalking within in an entire environment. How do you know what everyone is doing? Because while the light source remains over me, it's telling on everybody that's in my path. They're all group stalking together. The whole population is being told on while you are witnessing the phenomenon that the sun would be at the same address where it's at present over me in the morning. Literally, I'm at the same location I was at this morning. That's not the sun. And there is no sun and anywhere in New Mexico, anywhere in Louisiana, anywhere in Missouri, anywhere in Nevada, anywhere in Yosemite in Northern California. You're looking at what's very exclusive. The sun isn't over anywhere in Rancho Cucamonga, and it's not over anybody in Atlanta, Georgia. Okay, this is the light source that's very exclusive. It's remaining right here over my head, just exactly where you see it. That's the pattern of conduct, though. And it is speaking to the pattern of conduct that's occurring near you when you're looking at a light source, not the sun over your head, wherever you are, because it's distinct from its being the ability for it to be over my head and remain over my head all day long, rising and setting. What you are witnessing while I'm showing you the maintenance stalking via the environment, let me repeat that because I meant exactly what I said. Stalking via the environment is demonic. It is the ability to know the condition of those who are in your path and the criminal conduct that they are practicing. While I am capturing at 2:33 the phenomenon that the light source is remaining over my head, I'm showing you what are methods of stalking in the path. This third party that's inside of Jung Pak's apartment, coming onto the grounds and repeatedly doing so, she's going to federal prison and then she's going to be deported. The entity is group stalking by maintaining presence in the path. This is, I believe, Kun Kang's son of 1800, apartment number 2, group stalking while in the custody of a dog to do so. You are stalking in the path. That's exactly what it looks like. Somebody's present in the path, and they're also stalking in the path by sitting in the laundry room, an operation of a communication device. And this demon is stalking with audible activity as I walk by the laundry room while the light source is over the top of my head, as I go from my apartment, and it's following in step with me as I go back to my leasing office. And the entity are acting as one, stalking in the laundry room in the path, stalking by crossing path as I'm walking toward my office, which is the same thing is happening while third parties are driving down Alvarado Street. And you already know that as well because of the phenomenon, engineered light moving across this black gate, while that which is the identifiable condition of a demon that's crossing path and monitoring while impossible light that is, in other words, impossible to ever occur from driving a car on the asphalt, moves across a black gate. Where you have one stranger engaging in it, that one stranger is testifying to the criminal conduct of everybody else in the population. All right, the entity is maintaining this specific environment that is stalking in the path while I'm walking back to my leasing office, and this light source is over my head en route to my leasing office at the same property at 2:33 in the morning. And I want to be clear, what you're witnessing and what's relevant to the time. At 2:33 and 30 seconds, the entity is group stalking and this is Sang Lee is the entity. She's group stalking in the laundry room. She's maintaining physical presence, and the specific environment is readily identifying her condition and her criminal conduct. And it is not relevant that she speaks broken English, that she is clearly an aged third party who under all circumstances should have no concern for what I'm a black woman. We have nothing in common outside of the fact that she lives at Alvarado Gardens. We're both in the United States, California, but we don't have too much in common at all, other than the fact that we live at the same property. But I want to let you know what she's doing. She represents what all of the people of the state are doing. And this is maintaining presence in an engineered environment. And doing so in that engineered environment is direct evidence to her criminal purpose and intent. Not coincidentally using a dryer to create noise as I cross path. That's a demon that's stalking with audible activity, cognizant of my movement and location. You also know that because of the movement of a light source, speaking to very precise knowledge about me and where I'm going as I go there at this hour, 2:33, where the sun is not going to be over me at this same leasing office at 9 o'clock into 2 o'clock in the afternoon, where you also know that it remains because I've documented the sunrise and the sunset from beginning to the end of the workday. I've already documented this. So we already know where this is going. What am I doing here? I'm showing you what all the people of the state are doing as I point out the criminal conduct and the terrorism underway in the workplace by the people of the state. By the way, the people of the state that are referencing themselves while they fail at proving that they're anything other than a bunch of demon-possessed psychopaths who are worthy of federal prison. What am I specifically referring to? The employee warning notice by the people of the state who reference them, the people of the state that are group stalking on the property, in concert with who? The entity that knows exactly what time I'm taking a picture of the people of the state stalking in the laundry room, which is why at 2:33 and 46 seconds, the entity immediately starts sounding helicopter activity, which is what I captured on video. And this is the entity.
Office entrance because Sang Lee just was documented, and Sang Lee's going to federal prison, and then she's going to be deported. And that's the same treatment for all the people of the state who are group stalking with the state, engaging in what is entirely demonic. And then
so this is called stalking with audible activity. It's the same thing that Sang Lee did. While I'm crossing paths, she uses a dryer as I am documenting the group stalker that's crossing path on Alvarado Street. This demon that knows what I'm doing slams in a machine in the laundry room while she is stalking in the path, while the light source is over my head, while I'm in operation of my communication device, capturing this and capturing this. All right, she's in the laundry room group stalking, slamming machines around. Okay, doing so pursuant to a demonic behavioral pattern. While nobody is physically around me, the specific environment is present. Nobody's physically around. This third party's at a great distance back to me, right? Seemingly unaware of my presence, just walking the dog, actually. That's what the people of the state would like to contend, and it's legally irrelevant. This is a delusional psychopath's legal argument in federal court, okay? And it's not going to help the demon-possessed and the government that's keeping you under surveillance through such passive-aggressive means. That passive-aggressive behavior is documentation for what is psychological torture and what is a very mentally disturbing pattern of conduct of group stalking. It's no evidence of any ignorance or innocence it's speaking to malice. Okay. The entity is doing so while stalking with audible activity in the same way that this demon is stalking with the use of a machine as I operate my communication device and capture images of group stalking by the people of the state crossing Alvarado Street. This demon is crossing path while the light source, while this demon in the helicopter. Immediately sounding helicopter activity at a great distance, first of all, number two, and with simultaneity, 2:33 and 46 seconds. Now, I'm hearing it before I start my camera immediately, but your seconds are passing while I'm turning on my camera. So understand, it's immediately sounding the moment that I take this picture of Sang Lee. Okay, so it's approximately less than 15 seconds later, I start recording camera as I switch functions on my phone as soon as I can. And so when I say immediate, I mean immediate. The moment that I take that picture, before I'm even walking out of the laundry room, the entity is sounding helicopter activity. And I want you to look at the distance that the helicopter is. First of all, this is amplification that you are able to see. You're witnessing amplification. You're also witnessing demon possession because this is called stalking with audible activity. The method of audible activity is helicopter. The entity wants to pose the highest threat by communicating, both because they know you're documenting, you're communicating a threat when you continuously engage in group stalking, and also because you're group stalking in concert with law enforcement. These are demons that are in law enforcement. That is, by the way, not a law enforcement agency. That's actually a terrorist organization. And they are stalking in the path with simultaneity to my operation of a communication device because I am capturing their agent who is maintaining criminal presence in my path in the specific environment and are exhibiting their demon possession in doing so while stalking with audible activity in the method of helicopter.
LAPD, while the light source is still over me at the same leasing office entrance,
which is a threat,
because Sang Lee just was documented.
This is a threat to your life, to your safety, to your mental well-being, also to your liberty. While this entity that is group stalking, this is the people of the state that's referenced in the employee warning letter. These demons. The demons are composing the letter and referencing the demons in the substance of that letter while they are group stalking with the demons that are stalking in helicopter. That's literally what's going on here. And they are literally demons because I'm showing you the demonic environment that they're stalking me in. This is the light source that's over me at 2:33 in the afternoon. I stood at this same location this morning. And this morning, the light source is over me at my same leasing office where I am capturing it at, this is 8:49 in the morning, 9:05 in the morning. Let's just count 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. That's 5 hours ago. And, over 5 hours ago. It's 2:55 p.m. And the light source is in the same exact location.
And Sang Lee's going to federal prison and then she's going to be deported. And that's the same treatment for all of the people of the state who are group stalking with the state, engaging in what is entirely demonic. And then the demons try from telling the world that
the light source is remaining in the same position over my head at the same entrance of my leasing office where it remains. It's still right here. And like I've continuously point out, the people of the state hitherto that are creating a wealth of admissions and a document that's going to be submitted in federal court for the federal prosecution of all the people of the state who are going to federal prison that live at this property and who also go to federal prison for being on the grounds of the property, acting in concert with that state that uses helicopters and sound sirens to keep you under surveillance. The foolish and yet audacious criminal act to, in your face, in other words, an American citizen that shall under no circumstances be threatened by the government via the people while they are together threatening your life, while you are looking at it with your own eyes. You go to federal prison for that. And how many people have already done that? There's a whole population of people that are documented on my podcast. And the people of the state that live here, all the entity is aware of that. They're all aware of that. And they are continuously engaging in this criminal system. And this is the evidence of their demon possession. I'm at the leasing office at 9 o'clock in the morning. This is what you're looking at the top. I'm at the leasing office at 2:33 in the afternoon while the entity is stalking in a helicopter. This is the same entity, again, as I walk.
On behalf of that entity and a helicopter. P.O.C. This is...
I want you to pay attention to something. This light source moves as I move. So you're seeing it on the right side of building 1810. This is building 1810 right here. As I walk to the left side, the light source moves. That's why you see the light source over me while I am walking down this sidewalk after my lunch. The light source remains over me. So this is not the light source that's remaining solely on my left side and then on my right side in the evening. No, no, no. The entity maintains a planted position, generally speaking, on my left side. It remains and takes its position as I plant myself anywhere on my left side, moving to be on my right side, which is a general reference to the west, as I stay at one address all day. But as you can see, again, when I engage in movement all around and I capture it on video, you see the entity engaging in a departure from that. First of all, it's over the same property. All I'm doing is detailing what's under all circumstances impossible and under no circumstances anywhere in Rancho Cucamonga, like I documented on this day in 2022. Like I just pointed out to you as I was before I left to lunch, and showed the light source remaining over me on the 23rd. We'll just go with that one for right now. At this time, 2:30, I am inside of the Paul Bryan Library, and I step out to get more documentation around the 3 o'clock hour, where the entity is engaging in stalking in the bathroom. They're pacing all around me. That's absolutely absurd and as psychotic, but a little bit more perverted while somebody is stalking you in a bathroom. And they engage in stalking you in the bathroom, and they are assuming no one's ever going to know that they are engaging in such predatory, such disturbing, and sexually perverted, demented criminal conduct. That is the state of California that's crouching down in bathroom stalls all around you in relevant position. All right, and you know that because of the impossibility that the light source and engineered light, and that the state that is stalking in helicopters are just ongoing random occurrences that are a matter of coincidence. This is the P.O.C, the pattern of conduct by the state. And during the 3 o'clock hour, I'm remaining at the Paul Bryan Library, and I just step out for a second to capture that. This is where I remain, Paul Bryan Library, and I'm showing you the entrance. This is where it was over my head as I arrived 3 hours earlier on June 23rd, 2022. And this is where the entity maintains, and this is speaking to the criminal conduct that's occurring inside. This is demonic pacing one after another, maintaining very hovering presence, including inside of bathroom stalls, including in concert with minor children. And this is what you're juxtaposing with what's going on while I am in Los Angeles, and the entity is stalking in a laundry room, stalking with audible activity creation of slamming a machine while I am using my phone, which is the demonic behavioral pattern. Activity creation with simultaneity with what my physical movement, any change in my behavior. Might be facing one direction and say I do that for 32 minutes straight. The moment at minute 33 I do something different, immediately audible activity, light activity, presence occurs. Those are demons that are monitoring in that manner. The entity does so using helicopters, and that's what's occurring by Sang Lee in the laundry room, and that's what's occurring by the demon representing the LAPD, a terrorist organization, as opposed to a legitimate law enforcement agency. While you're remembering where I'm at on June 23rd, same time of your analysis applies, and it's nowhere near the entryway, the door of my leasing office. At 3:14 p.m., as you already know, the light source is remaining over me in Los Angeles, not over the Paul Bryan Library. That is the pattern of conduct, and this is speaking to the reality of the concerted conduct that the people of the state are engaging in on an ongoing basis. The entity that is terrorizing you and stalking in a manner that you are perceiving in concert with your operation of a communication device, in concert with your documentation of the people of the state who are equally demon-possessed, who are equally fully engaged in and violating not only your privacy, but with regard to the workplace, while they're group stalking you in the workplace. And no third party has any right to threaten your ability to maintain employment, collect a paycheck, in other words, while the state is keeping you under surveillance. Any effort to do so, which is exactly what I've documented, Sang Lee is the people of the state. The people of the state are referencing Sang Lee while they are group stalking together. Speaker companies are the people of the state. Everybody living at Alvarado Gardens are the people of the state. That's why you have the specific environment here at Alvarado Gardens as opposed to the natural environment. Literally, step by step, as I walk from my apartment to my office, the light source is remaining over me. This is the same address where I'm at in the morning. And as I document the people pursuant to the same pattern, and as I move around at this address, the light source moves. As I move to the opposite side of building 1810, where's the light source? Right over my head. As I move, the light source removes. Where I remain is where the light source remains, and that's not the natural environment. Sang Lee is indeed, like I stated, she's going to federal prison for the malice with which she engages in the state's criminal pattern of conduct, and the unthinkable violation of not only those that are supposed to be in this country, and we are supposed to be beneficiaries of the Constitution together as a people, but the betrayal by the government that is violating one American citizen in concert with who's supposed to be your American co-part, okay? And they are the people of the state. All right, they are a threat to your life. They're a threat to your safety. They're a threat to your well-being. They are a threat to your reputation. While this same entity kidnapped me on June 16, 2022, and on this day, June 17, 2022, I remain kidnapped right now. And the people of the state, Sang Lee, the people of the state, are engaging in this pattern of conduct with the state while seeking to criminally defame and keep me kidnapped in a facility where demons like Sang Lee are patients. The light source is over that facility. The entity is group stalking by the terrorist organizations such as the police department. I believe I documented the Colton police group stalking in the path as I stepped out. And the entity is maintaining this specific environment in an entirely different region. This is all manner of the state, no matter where you go, no matter what city or county you're in, no matter the name of that specific third party. It is a very precise template, and it applies everywhere to everyone. So I want to make sure I document it. This is what I'm approached with as I go back to my office. We're at 3:04 p.m. Just to be clear, there's no sun over the Paul Bunyan Library on June 23rd. As I step out at approximately around 3:15, 3:14, it's staying right here. And this is not over the Paul Bunyan Library. Nor would the sun still be present at the Paul Bunyan Library at that same front entrance, creating any sunlight on the wall in the depths of my office, in conformity to a pattern of conduct where demons such as Sang Lee are stalking in the path, slamming machines pursuant to their knowledge of my operation of communication devices. All right, physical movement inside of the office while they are not physically present, surrounding with engineered light and their movement in that engineered light in concert with demons such as the LAPD who are stalking in the path in concert with them, in step with them, in sync with them. All right, and this is indeed workplace terrorism, harassment, and sexual violence that I remain subject to. It's 3:04 p.m. and this is P.O.C.